in silent bounds, bordering the mortal's plain, crossing a wide expanse of brilliant peace. Narad, the heavenly sage from paradise, came chanting through the large and lustrous air. Attracted by the golden samarad that lay beneath him like a glowing bowl, tilted upon a table of the gods, turning as if moved around by an unseen hand to catch the warmth and blaze of a small sun. He passed from the immortal's happy paths to a world of toil and quest and grief and hope, to these rooms of a seesaw game of death and life. Across an intangible border of soul space, he passed from mind into material things, amid the inventions of the inconscient self and the workings of a blind somnambulist force. Below him, circling, burned the myriad suns. He bore the ripples of the etheric sea. A primal air brought the first joy of touch. A secret spirit drew its mighty breath, contracting and expanding this huge world. The secret might of the creative fire displayed its triple power to build and form. Its infinitesimal web sparks weaving dance, its nebulous units grounding shape and mass, magic foundation and pattern of a world, its radiance bursting into the light of stars. He felt a sap of life, a sap of death. Into solid matter's a dense communion, plunging in its obscure oneness of forms, is shared with a dumb spirit's identity. He beheld the cosmic being at his task. His eyes measured the spaces, gauged the depths, his inner gaze, the movements of the soul. He saw the eternal labor of the gods and looked upon the life of beasts and men. A change now fell upon the singer's mood. A rapture and a pathos moved his voice. He sang no more of light that never wanes, and oneness and pure everlasting bliss. He sang no more the deathless heart of love. His chant was a hymn of ignorance and faith. He sang the name of Vishnu and the birth, and joy and passion of the mystic world, and how the stars were made, and life began, and the mute regions stirred with the throb of a soul. He sang the inconscient and its secret self, its power omnipotent, knowing not what it does. All shaping without will or thought or sense, its blind, unerring, occult mystery, and darkness yawning towards the eternal light, and love that broods within the dim abyss and waits the answer of the human heart, and death that climbs to immortality. He sang of the truth that cries from night's blind deeps, and the mother wisdom hid in nature's breast, and the idea that through her dumbness works, and the miracle of her transforming hands, of life that slumbers in the stone and sun, and mind subliminal in mindless life, and the consciousness that wakes in beasts and men. He sang of the glory and marvel still to be born, of the Godhead throwing off at last its veil, of bodies made divine and life made bliss, immortal sweetness clasping immortal might, heart sensing heart, thought looking straight at thought, and the delight when every barrier falls, and the transfiguration and the ecstasy. And as he sang, the demons wept with joy, foreseeing the end of their long, dreadful task and the defeat for which they hoped in vain, and glad release from their self-chosen doom, and return into the one from whom they came. He who has conquered the immortal seeds came down to men on earth, the man divine. As a mighty lightning streak, a glory fell, nearing until the rapt eyes of the sage looked out from luminous cloud, and strangely limned his face, a beautiful mask of antique joy, appearing in light, descended where arose King Ashwapati's palace to the winds in Madra, flowering up in delicate stone. There welcomed him the sage and thoughtful king. At his side a creature beautiful, passionate, wise, aspiring like a sacrificial flame, skyward from a sad seat through luminous air, Queen Brown, the human mother of Savitri. There for an hour, untouched by the earth's siege, they ceased from common life and care, and sat, inclining to the high and rhythmic voice, while in his measured chant the heavenly seer spoke of the toils of men and what the gods strive for on earth, and joy that throbs behind the marvel and the mystery of pain. He sang to them of the lotus heart of love, with all its thousand luminous buds of truth, which quivering sleeps, veiled by apparent things. It trembles at its touch, it strives to wake, and one day it shall hear a blissful voice, and in the garden of the spouse shall bloom when she is seized by her discovered Lord. A mighty shuddering coil of ecstasy crept through the deep heart of the universe. Out of her matter's stupor, her mind's dreams, she woke. She looked upon God's unveiled face. Even as he sang, and rapture stole through earth time, and caught the heavens, came with a call of hoops, as of a swift heart hastening, Savitri. Her radiant tread glimmered across the floor, a happy wonder in her fathomless gaze, changed by the halo of her love, she came. Her eyes rich with a shining mist of joy, as one who comes from a heavenly embassy, discharging the proud mission of her heart, one carrying the sanction of the gods to her love and its luminous eternity. She stood before her mighty Father's throne, and eager for beauty on discovered earth, transformed and new in her heart's miracle light, saw like a rose of marble worshipping the fiery sweetness of the Son of Heaven. He flung on her his vast immortal look. His inner gaze surrounded her with its light, and raining back knowledge from his immortal lips, he cried to her, "Who is this that comes? The bride, the flame born, around her illumined head, pouring their lights, her hymeneal pomps, moved, flashing about her. From what green glimmer of glades, retreating into dewy silences, or half-seen verge of waters, moon betrayed, bringest thou this glory of enchanted eyes? Earth has gold-hued expanses, shadowy hills that cowl their dreaming phantom heads in night, and guarded in a cloistral joy of woods, screened banks sink down into felicity, seized by the curved incessant yearning hands and rippled passion of the upgazing stream. Amid cool-lipped murmurs of its pure embrace, they lose their souls on beds of trembling reeds. And all these are mysterious presences in which some spirit's immortal bliss is felt, and they betray the earthborn heart to joy. There hast thou paused, and marvelling, born eyes unknown, or heard a voice that forced thy life to strain its rapture through thy listening soul? Or, if my thought could trust this shimmering gaze, it would say, thou hast not drunk from an earthly cup, but, stepping through azure curtains of the morn, thou wast surrounded on a magic verge in brighter countries than man's eyes can bear. Assailed by trooping voices of delight, and seized mid a sunlit glamour of the boughs in fairy woods, led down the glimmering slopes of Gandhamadhan, where the apsaras roam, thy limbs have shared the sports which none has seen, and in God hunts thy human footsteps stray. Thy mortal bosom quivered with God's speech, and thy soul answered to a word unknown. What feet of gods, what ravishing flutes of heaven have thrilled high melodies round, from near and far, approaching through this soft and reveling air, which still surprised thou hearest. They have fed thy silence on some red, strange ecstatic fruit, and thou hast trod the dim moon peaks of bliss. Reveal, O winged with light, whence thou hast flown, hastening bright-hued through the green tangled earth, thy body rhythmical with the spring bird's call. The empty roses of thy hands are filled only with their own beauty, and the thrill of a remembered clasp, and in thee glows a heavenly jar, thy firm, divinate heart, new brimming with a sweet and nectarous wine. Thou hast not spoken with the kings of pain. Life's perilous music rings here to the ear, far melodic, rapid, grand, a centaur's song, or soft as water plashing mid the hills, or mighty as a great chant of many winds. Moon bright thou livest in the inner bliss. Thou comest like a silver deer through groves of coral flowers and buds of glowing dreams, or fleeced like a winged goddess through leaves, or roamest, O ruby-eyed and snow-winged dove, flitting through thickets of thy pure desires in the unwounded beauty of thy soul. These things are only images to the earth, but truest truth of that which in thee sleeps. For such is the spirit, the sister of the gods, the earthly body, lovely to the eyes, and thou art kin in joy to heaven's sons. O thou who hast come to this great perilous world, now only seen through the splendor of thy dreams, where hardly love and beauty can live safe, thyself a being dangerously great, a soul alone in a golden house of thought, has lived, walled in by the safety of thy dreams. On heights of happiness, leaving doom asleep, who hunts unseen the unconscious lives of men, if the heart could live, locked in the ideal's goal, as high, as happy might thy waking be, if for all time doom could be left to sleep. He spoke, but held his knowledge back from words, as a cloud plays with lightning's vivid love, but still holds back the thunder in its heart. Only he let bright images escape. His speech, like glimmering music, veiled his thoughts. Pitiful to mortals, only to them it spoke, as a wind flatters the bright summer air of living beauty and of present bliss. He hid in his all-knowing mind the rest. To those who hearken to his celestial voice, the veil heaven's pity throws on future pain. The immortal's sanction seemed of endless joy. But Ashtrapati answered to the seer. His listening mind had marked the dubious close. An ominous shadow fell behind the words. But calm like one who ever sits facing fate, here mid the dangerous contours of earth's life, he answered, covered thought with guarded speech. O deathless sage, who knowest all things here, if I could read by the ray of my own wish, through the carved shield of symbol images which thou hast thrown before thy heavenly mind, I might see the steps of a young, godlike life, happily beginning, luminous-eyed on earth. Between the unknowable and the unseen, born on the borders of two wonder worlds, it flames out symbols of the infinite and lives in a great light of inner suns. For it has read and broken the hidden seals. It has drunk of the immortal's wells of joy. It has looked across the jewel bars of heaven. It has entered the aspiring secrecy. It sees beyond terrestrial common things and communes with the powers that build the worlds, till through the shining gates and mystic streets of the city of lapis lazuli and pearl, proud deeds step forth, a rank and march of gods. Although in pauses of our human lives, earth keeps for man some short and perfect hours, when the inconstant trade of time can seem the eternal moment which the deathless live, yet rare that touch upon the mortal's world. Hardly a soul and body here are born in the fierce, difficult movement of the stars, whose life can keep the paradisal note, its rhythm repeat the many-told melody, tirelessly throbbing through the rapturous air. Caught in the song that sways the Apsara's limbs, when she floats, gleaming like a cloud of light, a wave of joy on heaven's moonstone floor. Behold this image, cast by light and love, a stanza of the ardor of the gods, perfectly rhymed, a pillared ripple of gold. Our body, like a brimmed pitcher of delight, shaped in a splendor of gold-colored bronze, as if to seize Art's truth of hidden bliss. Dream-made, illumined mirrors are our eyes, draped subtly in a slumberous fringe of jet, retaining heaven's reflections in their ribs. Even as our body, such is she within. Heaven's lustrous mornings gloriously recur like drops of fire upon a silver beach. In her young spirit, yet untouched with tears, all beautiful things eternal seem and new, to virgin wonder in her crystal soul. The unchanging blue reveals its precious thought, marvelous the moon floats on through wandering skies. Earth's flowers spring up and laugh at time and death. The charmed mutations of the enchanter life race like bright children past the smiling hours. If but this joy of life could last, nor pain throw its bronze note into our rhythmed days. Behold her, singer with the prescient gaze, and let thy blessing chant that this fair child shall pour the nectar of a sorrowless life around her from a lucid heart of love. Heal with her bliss the tired breast of earth, and cast like a happy snare felicity. As grows the great and golden bounteous tree, flowering by Alokananda's murmuring waves, where with enamored speed the waters run, lisping and babbling to the splendor of morn, and cling with lyric laughter round the knees of heaven's daughters, dripping magic rain, pearl bright from moon-gold limbs and cloudy hair. So are her dawns, like jeweled leaves of light. So casts she her felicity on men. A flame of radiant happiness she was born, and surely will that flame set earth alight. Doom surely will see her pass, and say no word, But too often here the careless mother leaves her chosen in the envious hands of fate. The harp of God falls mute, its call to bliss, discouraged fails, mid earth's unappeased sounds. The strings of the siren ecstasy cry not here. All soon are silenced in the human heart. Of sorrow's songs we have enough. Be it once our glad and griefless days ring heavenly here. All must fire, always test the grate of soul. Along the dreadful causeway of the gods, armored with love and faith and sacred joy, a traveller to the Eternal's house, once let unwounded pass a mortal life. But Narad answered not, silent he said, knowing that words are vain and fate is Lord. He looked into the unseen with seeing eyes, then, dallying with the mortal's ignorance, like one who knows not, questioning, he cried, on what high mission went her hastening wheels? Whence came she with this glory in her heart, and paradise made visible in her eyes? What sudden goddess met, what face supreme, to whom the king, the red Ashoka watched her going forth, which now sees her return. Risen into an air of flaming dawn, like a bright bird, tired of a lonely branch, to find her own Lord, since to her on earth he came not yet. This sweetness wandered forth, cleaving her way with the beat of her rapid wings. Led by a distant call, her vague swift flight threaded the summer moths and sunlit lanes. The happy rest her burdenless escape, and these charmed guardian lips hold treasured still. Virgin, who comest perfected by joy, reveal the name thy sudden heartbeats learn. Whom hast thou chosen kingliest among men? And Savitri answered with a still calm voice, as one who speaks beneath the eyes of fate. Father and King, I have carried out thy will. One whom I sought, I found in distant lands. I have obeyed my heart. I have heard its call. On the borders of a dreaming wilderness, mid Shalwa's giant hills and brooding woods, in his thatched hermitage, Dumatsena dwells. Blind, exiled, outcast, once a mighty king. The son of Dumatsena, Satyavan, I have met on the wild forest's lonely verge. My father, I have chosen. This is done. Astonished, all sat silent for a space. Then Ashwapati looked within and saw a heavy shadow float above the nave, chased by a sudden and stupendous light. He looked into his daughter's eyes and spoke, well hast thou done, and I approve thy choice. If this is all, then all is surely well. If there is more, then all can still be well. Whether it seem good or evil to men's eyes, only for good the secret will can work. Our destiny is written in double terms. Through nature's contraries, we draw near God. Out of the darkness, we still grow to light. Death is our road to immortality. Cry, oh, the world's lost voices wail, yet conquers the eternal good at last. Then might the sage have spoken, but the king in haste broke out and stayed the dangerous word. O singer of ultimate ecstasy, lend not a dangerous vision to the blind, because by native right thou hast seen clear. Impose not on the mortal's tremulous breast the dire ordeal that foreknowledge brings. Demand not now the godhead in our acts. Here are not happy peace, the heaven nymphs roam, or Kailash, or Vaikuntha's starry stair. Abrupt, jagged hills, only the mighty climb, are here, where few dare even think to rise. Far voices call down from the dizzy rocks, chill, slippery, precipitous are the paths. Too hard the gods are with man's fragile race. In their large heavens they dwell exempt from fate, and they forget the wounded feet of man. His limbs that faint beneath the whips of grief, his heart that hears the tread of time and death. The future's road is hid from mortal sight. He moves towards a veiled and secret face. To light one step in front is all his hope, and only for a little strength he asks to meet the riddle of his shrouded fate. Awaited by a vague and half-seen force, aware of danger to his uncertain hours, he guards his flickering yearnings from our breath. He feels not when the dreadful fingers close around him with the grasp none can elude. If thou canst lose our grip, then only speak. Perhaps from the iron snare there is escape. Our mind perhaps deceives us with its words and gives the name of doom to our own choice. Perhaps the blindness of our will is fate. He said, and Narad answered not the king. But now the queen alarmed lifted her voice. O seer, thy bright arriving has been timed to this high moment of a happy life. Then let this speech benign of griefs plus fears confirm this blithe conjunction of two stars and sanction joy with thy celestial voice. Here drag not in the peril of our thoughts. Let not our words create the doom they fear. Here is no cause for dread, no chance for grief, to raise our ominous head and stare at love. A single spirit in a multitude, happy is Satyavan, made earthly men, whom Savitri had chosen for her mate, and fortunate the forest hermitage, where leaving her palace and riches and a throne, my Savitri will dwell and bring in heaven. Then let thy blessing put the immortal's seal on these bright lives, unstained felicity, pushing the ominous shadow from their days. Too heavy falls a shadow on man's heart. It dares not be too happy upon earth. It dreads the blow, dogging too vivid joys. A lash unseen in fate's extended hand, the danger lurking in fortune's proud extremes, and irony in life's indulgent smile, and trembles at the laughter of the gods. Or if crouches unseen a panther doom, if wings of evil brood above that house, then also speak, that we may turn aside and rescue our lives from hazard of wayside doom and chance entanglement of an alien fate. And Narad slowly answered to the queen, what help is in prevision to the driven? Save doors cry opening near, the doomed pass on. A future knowledge is an added pain, a torturing burden, and a fruitless light on the enormous scene that fate has built. The eternal poet, universal mind, has paged each line of his imperial act. Invisible the giant actor's straight, and man lives like some secret player's mask. He knows not even what his lips shall speak, for a mysterious power compels his steps, and life is stronger than his trembling soul. None can refuse what this stark force demands. Her eyes are fixed upon her mighty aim. No cry or prayer can turn her from her path. She has leaped an arrow from the bow of God.